So I have in this book here a couple of things about some black people. Is what they call them in Negroes. Negro means black. If you ever thought that the Civil War, the Northern War of the Northern Aggression, the War of Succession, it was called then. It wasn't called the Civil War until later. If you think that black people were mistreated, manipulated, what have you, maybe some cases of that happened. But from what I've been reading right now, and I've had these books for a very long time, about 14, 15 years, and probably longer than that. And I just recently got back into looking at them. But I'm going to show you some excerpts, if that's the right word. And first of all, I'm looking up the words Negroes. Okay. And this is what it has on Negroes. Action touching Negroes, communication from G.T. Beauregard. On the general's employment of as laborers. Communications from employment of as laborers. I have another one to Robert Singletary from Thomas Bennett of the Department of Labor. It says, I have the honor to report that since my supervision of the labor in the city, I have visited the fortifications nearly every day, and in many instances as often as 3 times a day. The hands in this department are regularly worked, and on no occasion have I ever seen or heard their being badly used or overworked. Their quarters have been changed since the weather has become cold. They are now located in one of the largest and warmest buildings I could find in our constable. I have frequently examined their food and also inquired of the overseers who came with them, of the drivers and of the Negroes themselves, and with the exception of the quantity of meat, they all represent themselves perfectly satisfied. There is a standing order, both to overseers and driver, that turn the page. I am to be informed of any irregularity, and no complaint of any moment has yet been received. The rations are at present bacon 1/3 and 1/4 of a pound per day for a man, and so on and so on and so on. The sick are taken every morning in the ambulance to the hospital, which is attended by 2 good surgeons. In my visit there, I find the sick provided with good beds and covering. The convalescents are permitted to walk about the yard. In my efforts to aid, I am requested to procure a little ready money for milk, bread, and other little outside comforts not furnished by the medical department. This, together with the fact that the steward is kind, regular, and attentive, gives the assurance that our hospital is altogether satisfactory. But anyway, it also talks about black people there too. Example of that. Colonel Rhett, please, this is South Carolina, Georgia coast, and then Middle and East Florida, Thomas Jordan, General. Will Colonel Rhett please read this letter and let the editor of the Courier see it? Cannot the planters be brought to a sense of what is becoming? Their Negroes are well treated, fed, and attended to. They may lose some of them, but in that way they may save the rest. It is discouraging to find men so insensible and recreant to their duty. The difficulties in the labor, I have respectfully to request authority to endeavor to procure it and established such rules for the guardianship and provision for the Negroes as will prevent the complaints which have been made concerning them heretofore, and ensure them proper employment. To ensure them proper employment. Okay. If this is approved by the Commanding General, I will proceed in the effort, and if labor can be obtained, I would further respectfully suggest that Captain Ramsey of the Engineers be assigned to the construction of the work, and that he be ordered to communicate upon the subject with these headquarters. But neither here nor there. Black people were employed in this part of the Civil War. They weren't made to work as slaves. They were employed. I wanted to show you about black people that were leaded out to the Confederate States, and they, as you can see here, it would be better that the force should be renewed at the expiration of every 30 days, as experience proves that after this length of service, change of labor, habits, and diet, and homesickness greatly impair the efficiency of the Negro. Now, if we read further down, this one of these generals, whatever, was writing to Thomas Jordan. I am of the opinion the general conviction throughout the state that these Negroes are not sufficiently or judiciously cared for, especially in cases of sickness, is an erroneous one. Sorry, can't get my book up. For I have every reason to believe that they are with a few exceptional cases, humanely treated while at work, as well fed as our soldiers, and as carefully attended when sick as the limited means at our disposal will admit. In confirmation of this opinion, I beg to refer to the accompanying reports of Mr. Ryan and Mr. Bennett, Assistant Superintendents of Negro Labor, on the subject. Let's see here. Anyway, and it also says here that with reference to the suggestion to employ soldiers in the construction works for the coast defense and allow them the same compensation paid for the hire of Negroes, I beg to state that this department has not the authority to make such arrangement. The only compensation allowed soldiers for extra duty is too small to be much exertion from them. So they were paid. They had money paid to them, blacks did.